A very good evening to you, listener, and those are beautiful sounds of Lucky Dube, the late Crime and Corruption. There's a reason behind why I played that song before, coming back on air. Of course, you had me in the Big 20, but I'm definitely back. I'm definitely back with something different, and in the studios this evening, I have a lady and a gentleman. We're going to be talking about women, but also men at a certain point, because of course we have two species in the world. That's the man and the woman, two genders. So definitely we are going to be talking about mostly women, but also men. And I'm actually requesting you, the listener, please pay maximum attention to whatever we are going to say here, because it's really beautiful. Maybe to give you something really small, we are going to be talking about ICT. ICT, that is what we are going to be talking about. ICT, Information and Communication Technology. It's abbreviated as ICT. That is something really interesting. Atete muloza ntino kyabantu basoma bokano. Kyabantu abawansi ddala eri, the local person down there, namwe abali eno waggulu. So definitely I expect everyone to not touch their dials right now. I have a lady called Bokare Agnes. She's the project manager. Are you, please? Project officer. Thank you very much. You can even just take it from there and introduce yourself to the listener.
Good evening, listeners. I'm Bokare Agnes. I work as a project officer in Eastern Region for Ugunet. Okay.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, you're very much welcome to the studios of 99.8 Step FM. Mr. Oduchi, I just said off air that I like your name. It sounds African.
Actually, I'm an African.
Yeah.
A typical one.
Exactly.
And as you has already said, listeners, my name is Oduchi Charles Richard.
Okay.
And I like the name. I come from Palisa in the sub-counties of Gogonyo. And I think for details we shall be seeing why am I saying sub-counties. Then there we shall.
And why you're here.
Yes, and why I'm here.
Thank you very much, Oduchi. What's your other name?
Charles Richard.
Charles Richard Oduchi.
Yes.
Okay, Oduchi Charles Richard. We should start it like that.
Yes,
anyhow, let's delve into the gist of why we're here. We are here for Women of Uganda Network, ICT. She can actually, Agnes can even just pronounce it better, Ugonet.
Yes, Ugonet.
What is this organization?
Ugonet is an abbreviation of Women of Uganda Network. It's an umbrella organization. It was founded in 2000 by several women organizations with an agenda of involving women to take the advantages that the ICTs present. Yes. And the issue why they came up was to enable women participate in sustainable development, the national sustainable development. That's the reason. And also the other reason was to particularly look at women as a group of people who have had a lot of challenges and issues time memorial. And especially with the use of ICTs, because in our communities, you know what it means. Most of these resources are for men, leave alone ICTs, there are others. But in this particular initiative, they decided to come up to bring women on board, also to utilize ICTs to participate in national development.
Thank you very much. Maybe for a layman out there, you would like to talk about what ICT is.
ICT is information communication technologies, and I don't know how Leo could explain what it is, but when you talk about information, you talk about what others need to know. That's what I'll call divine information. Is power. Is what is hidden, but has to come out, has to be shared, has to be understood, has to be used. That's information. Now, communication is just transmitting the information. So, in other words, you're bringing the hidden agenda to outside, to those who need to know it, and also to apply it. But in this case, we're talking of technologies. So, we are using the machines. It's a technical part of it. We're using the machines to do it. For instance, we could talk about using phones, mobile phones or any other phones. We could talk about using computers, radios like this one, newsprints, those who know internet, just to make sure that there is a transmission of sorts
of information
from one place to another to those who are able to find and others who need to use it. Yes.
Where are you based? Well, it started in 2000.
Yes.
Where did you start it from?
Basically, it is like I said, it's an umbrella organization.
Yes.
It was founded by women organizations all over the country.
All over the country, okay.
Yes. But then the founders were women who mobilized other women organizations to come up with this initiative. And our head office is in Kampala, in Kamosha.
Okay.
And right now, the reason we are here is because we've also now established an office in Eastern region. And this particular project we are implementing is just one of the projects that we're going to implement all over Uganda, and it's called Promoting and Strengthening Citizens' Participation to Demand Accountability and Transparency in Public Service Delivery using ICTs. And in Eastern Uganda, we have 3 districts. We have Palisa, Busia, and Tororo. And Tororo has the coordinating office. And we work with partners. That's our approach in this particular project. So in Palisa we have Goredo.
Before you move on from that point, because I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Do you have prospects of spreading out to other districts? You as Wigonet, because
yes.
I think this project is really important, especially for women.
I think it's not even especially for women. I think when we really define our project, we are fighting corruption. We are looking for improving service delivery. So I think public delivery is more of a general concern, because the general benefit is the community benefit. So it's not for women. We are simply asking women also to participate in making the community realize the benefits of service.
Make men less corrupt.
Yes, not even men. Everybody's corrupt. Yeah. So I don't think so much of just to make women also participate, but usually corruption or poor service delivery affects everybody. So in relation to your question, for instance, this project was first implemented in northern Uganda, and it worked out well. Actually, it's still continuing up to now.
Okay. Let's give an opportunity. Just hold on there, Agnes. Let me cross over to Oduchi.
Yes, sir.
Because we are going to have it like this. Try to make the other audience understand what exactly we are talking about. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes to give us the artist version of what Agnes is talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katunga yala mano yesi ni pupeto kingangena. Kapata limu tulongo be kakirore anyata yongo Oduchu Charles Richard. Alomu tongo Palisa district. Alomu tongo tema no gonyo. Kwenye bodo ajango ngena isomai itema na nguniare temu no gonyo kada itema na popong. Ijaso o studio sine anu aitijeni kini yeskere be iwuta aitoloto akirot ne nyata otoma amusugunu be ICT. Amajeni ara eperaja uno otomateso kwenye nyata ngesibe information and communication technology. Neda idauto ranyumbon be ijatun somangoro kwenye eroko ni dolokina ngena akono atamarube raino a program no en akiti atkotne nyata be Women of Uganda Network ikapunke ano aisharare mutungon ne jastunga. Women of Uganda Network erangisi atkotna morkikiti atukona wangoro no ipu ne jasoma kwa yokona o Uganda. Neda ejare office kesana Apollo Kampala Kamosha. Obumiso geun tomo karuno ilukuminiare kwenye kapuka na jai bubo office ke eche ne jai kide na o Uganda o town no Tororo. Neda kwana abudongisi anyuno Tororo aishara bubo akekeje adol return Palisa district neda kapuka na ijai ngisi otemno ogonyo kada otemno popung. So ibuti aimorone epono no iperu anyin bonbe biya bangor eperu ngora kiun biya yi arara itosomete kisida Apollo arabati achwangine nyata be ICT ngesi utare bere aimorane. So ukota ailepi joni jai kingangena aitama popokene joko be nubunyo ekebe tangoro da swam nara yuta apeleke nanyi bonbe ikoto atama ai keuna ngoro o jawno skesi da kidingineni ne temetemeri boro nu isulokitosi ijawten no itunga kere mamerae angoro boni mamerae are kido ko boni konya yon kere narai e jawni duchu amidi chiona kapunu so dumu jobe ati kusa chene lom nete toma amidi chiona sirigini e lomana nete angoro noi ni nuda nati loso na anyu ni ungarana ngena be opone bani alomna e corruption ayana kana ngoro atunsne polo enyo be yatakino no ipo nyebere bo elinka ngodani ni kwanyini
afoyo yeah omulungi ampuliriza ochali kumpoza chenda mwenda katunze munana Stefan Radio tambula nawe sagala tugenda kubera nga tukozesa olulimi oluzungu n'olulimi oluteso n'endowooza oluzungu lujja kubeera nga luyambako abantu abamu tulina talk show olunaku olwaleero ssaawa zino zennyini nga tulina abagenyi okuva mu Women of Uganda Network naye nga ku luno bakuleetedde ebikwatagana ne ku Information Communication Technology Project era nga bagamba nti no baze promotinga ba strengthening citizen participation to demand accountability and transparency in public service delivery through the use of information communication technologies. Kyebaza okubeera nga bakola ate era nga Agnes yatugambye nti no bayina amatabi katugambe bayina amatabi ettabi ekkulu oba coordinating office eri Tororo ate nga bayina katugamba affiliates Palisa ne Busia district. They have prospects of stretching out out in these other districts. So don't worry about that. I cut you short, Agnes. You can just start from. You were talking about northern Uganda. How successful is northern Uganda before we get down to Palisa, Tororo, and Busia?
Yeah, in northern Uganda, it was also implemented. That is a governance project, remember? So in northern Uganda, it was in Apache, Kolo, Yam, Gulu, and Amuro districts. They were in 5 districts for 2 years. And the exact title of the project was empowering local people to demand for improved service delivery through the use of ICTs. But then it was because of its very many successes, that's why the funders again decided to give us money to come to Eastern Uganda also to add the other side. Now it is also there for now. But then we can cite just a few examples, maybe 2 because of the time. In northern Uganda, we work with generally, the governance projects work with the voluntary social accountability committees. This is a committee established in every parish. It's made up of 15, and 15 members is a ratio of 30 to 70 women, 70% women, 30% men. So actually, we work with both men and women. Though our target is women, we are not that we are working with them, but we are trying to empower them. Yes. So in northern Uganda, to be specific, they monitored poor service delivery issues and they reported to respective authorities. One example was bicycles was supposed to be given to the community, and the person who was in charge of giving the bicycle at the sub-county was demanding some little money before you take your bicycle. But people didn't have the money to get the bicycle. So what they did, they went to some rich guy in the town, and he would give you money. You go bring the bicycle, park at his place. Until all bicycles were being parked at his place, it was like a loan. So if you can clear, then you can get back your bicycle. But then the VSACs, the committee that we formed, decided to flag the problem up, and the district authorities came at the sub-county, and as soon as they heard about it and they were questioned, they returned all people's money, and the bicycles were given for free. Yes.
Okay.
So that's a shame that they cause. So, for instance, another example was a bridge. Yeah, it was a broken bridge, and then they reported, and it was repaired. So that's our work. We identify issues in particular areas, and then we flag it off for action. Depending on the type of problem we identify, it can start from LC1 up to national level. But because of the success, the other side, that's why it's come this way. And also now, the committees that were established in northern Uganda they're just volunteers. So we don't have to so much engage into facilitation, but they're just people who give in to fight corruption.
Yeah, exactly. This program is about fighting corruption. That is what it is all about, because it is looking for transparency and accountability from definitely our leaders. moving ahead, please just come in there.
Yeah, thank you very much. So awuta ngisi NRB a project no nyata be Women of Uganda Network rangisi a project no egeona Northern Uganda neda jari ngisi toma districts kanyuna tubunge so lim kapati Apache, Oyamu, Amuru pangin. So ubu soma iborun pepo angena anaeda wutare ITG amidishona API neda watangisi limun boni be soma tangisi boru kwapanati ajai ne opono yaune regalin akora kine tonga kwenye dodo bere buwani na porukui ile pati sirigini aneja stongona beta dumuni galin mun neda bakarebe ija lemuni sirigini ngesko yangarje gali so aneni oporukui oloto neja abarne cheno aje utaune peneni ata majau ni kapuna nu ngintu tabu na ataka reke gala hangar so anene eda utuke sadum ke sigala no poto yangasi konya je ke sangar gal nguna gba ekin togwa jiano abaran eroko kese yangari gali ni mun so anene kwana kapa jar so kada itongani soma iso kopanga na nyata kesbe visax otomaile leba voluntary social accountability committees isoma iso kada tunga ngono chalo wangena anu anyu bonbe anbo aswamna joko itolo sete epugakayo so ponuno wani tubala akirot na itunga lemu ni galini ikapuni kesa anu atakuni galini alaije aneja eno bareti ationo so poto anga sakirono ingaren nedo poto kiche no apolo ko poto adumunu bonbe rabe tin ajasi galini ni na pakngata abete ja takare gali olemu kunyi kapna na kinije punyak na tunga kere galini kese ayangar kwangin mama lemu sirigini so yaibo ache swamuna esoma e project no neda obu etido arabate bridge obu bela jembo jido no konulo tepete no bu pakaru bo munari so bwero to munari anen so obu tu kesi yolo do angara akese monyo ya apele kente kos mamera ibonbe rajo asuroki ne pugaka kwenye rai kesi alusite nerika de pugaka eticha yakin kesi biyasis kada swam ano aito likine epelu na nakini itunga kere iboreni ipudaskesi so arai kesa lusite ngene nerika da itunga ngunu me pugaka ngunu kada anyi bonbe poto pedosi aitemokini etidongo no go munari ipu iboro nu esoma so nu ewota uganeta swam anu engara keni tunga bonbe apelekente kosi rai ITG amidishona PI corruption kwenye etosoma ete boronyata be ICT nisiwata sasomani.
Okay, thank you very much. Uganda, if I stand to be corrected, loses 700 billion shillings every year to corruption. So what this association of Women of Uganda network is doing is exactly what we need right now. And we exactly need mothers, given that Women of Uganda network looks at 70% women participation. We are looking at having mother to at least play a leading role for a change in this, and I'm really happy about this. But going back to Agnes,
Yes, please.
of course, let's bring it down here to Eastern Uganda. What are some of the objectives you have? Because I'm sure, of course, the association is working very well in Gulu. Is it there? I had you using a past tense. Is it still there? Is it still operational?
It's still operational in that the 2 years ended. They got another funding from a different donor because of the successes, and also now it is still the same thing. We still have the same objectives, only that maybe you are expanding to different districts like that.
It's a good
but
sign.
we have a similar thing. And also we are now building more capacities. For example, the IT equipments are being increased because of more money coming in. That's maybe the biggest difference. So taking on from where we left, because 2 years usually not easy to come up with any positive results about fighting corruption. But the general objective of this project is just first to create awareness to the community or to the public on the need to have good governance and to improve service delivery. That's the first one. Then since it is an ICT project, it's also there to ensure that the capacity of the community are developed or improved on the use and application of ICTs. So we train people on how to use ICTs. Then the other one is to document the voice of the voiceless. we assume that people feel the corruption at the grassroots, but they also have no way and how to voice it up. So the reason we bring these issues up is to make sure that the voice of the very common person is heard from near and far. And since we are using ICT, which is would call a global advantage.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is easier to bring people nearer to you and also understand you better. Remember, when you're using an ICT, like a phone, if you send me a message and it has gone through the systems, you will not reverse the order. I hope I'm not lying. So once I've taken a photograph of a broken bridge, a photograph of a blown off roof, I will not change it again as long as it indicates the date. So in other words, you're ensuring what we call the quality of reporting. Quality of information, relevance of information. And also the other one is also I would call it the secrecy, because when I send a message using my phone, you will not know, depending on where I am. But if we take, for example, we're not using ICTs like others are monitoring without using ICTs. You have to shout around, you have to talk, you have to do everything. So for instance, if I tell you now we are down 7 months down the road, we have had a lot of issues. We've compiled so many, over 100 issues since then. And we're still doing our groundwork. We are pushing them on. And in a month's time, we may be meeting the district or sub-county officials, and we are presenting the whole stuff as it is, with photographs as evidence. And I think nobody will now have to deny anything that we call an issue. So really, the idea of having ICT has been very, very unique in documenting. And also the other bit is we are sharing at a platform. Now with ICT, we are using Mushahidi, which is an East African platform. So it's like the whole East African, and anybody who is Facebook and Twitter,
exactly,
YouTube and so forth, you will always get to know what you are doing, because you can click at your YouTube, you get a video. So, you open up our Facebook, you get it.
So definitely, Women of Uganda Network has a Facebook account, a Twitter account, a YouTube account,
Ushahidi. We have also for information center like Kuberi Information Center called KIC. Now also we are going to have our Tororo Information Center website. So as soon as you click, and
please, I'm going to request you. I know we have little time, but I'm going to request you to repeat that, because so that people go on these social networks and check you out.
That's
Facebook.
And then we have Twitter, we have YouTube, we have Ushahidi, and for more clarification, we have an information center with all these details of what you need, all the addresses, how you go about it, and those we've trained in the communities where our catchment area is, they know even how to log in. For example, in all these websites, even a plot in the Ushahidi. Ushahidi in Uganda is just a map of Uganda with the several parts. So in case there's a problem in Palisa or maybe an incomplete health center too, and we photograph right up the article. If you click Ushahidi, you'll see it and will show it is in this part of Uganda. If you don't know where Palisa is, it will show you.
Let me stretch this a little further. What if I'm from Bulambuli? I have access to Facebook and all these things, these tools you're talking about, digital tools you're talking about. Is it possible for me to upload these photographs, a photograph of a bad bridge, and it is worked upon, Bulambuli, Sirongo, wherever I am, because I'm sure very many people are listening to us right now?
I don't think you'll fail to upload. You'll upload it only that you must know that is a website. You must know the address only. And once you know the address, you will upload. But now the other
I guess what I was saying is sharing information.
Yes. Yeah. But now the other bit is that for us as a project, we are in our areas. And also we have what we call the edit, they call it what in your journalism, those who edit the work, the editors. So you're free to log in, put it in if you know all those steps, because you have to go undergo some small training.
Okay.
But then it will reach a stage where they have to first edit and verify. And it only goes to everybody when somebody has what? Verified. You know those systems.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't, for example, you could be using it wrongly, and you upload a wrong story. So for us, all of us, for example, Palisa, Tororo, and Busia, I'm down to first verify the information. I get down, I look at your photograph, ask you, is it really true? Because the next minute is you to talk, it's not Ugonet. Because when you're going to these leaders, it's you to talk. So you don't bring your gezi or your wolokos into these things.
Yes.
So we are very, 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 very careful. If you're writing anything, it must be real. That's why we even need the photograph.
How do you authenticate this information? Do you actually come down?
Exactly, that's our work. I'm completely a field worker, and he's also a field worker.
Okay.
So what we do is you first flag in with a small message, and then I probe into exactly. But those messages we really like, we keep it as part of the documentation. But for us, we write articles on different messages, different issues. So to write an article, you know what it means. You get the real depth of the word and the truthfulness of the information. Then we have to now, it is the articles that go to the Ushahidi or Facebook. We are the ones to verify,
so
and even to build on it.
What the public is supposed to do, in this case the Palisa people, the Tororo people, and the Busia people, they're just supposed to alert you with a message or a photograph, and your job is to go down and
now get more information, and also now help them to advocate, to continue following it up.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the gentleman.
Yeah.
Charles.
Yes, please. Now here atamasubi ane uta enere amusugunu kadate sonara icherwa nwa anoteso Palisa beta jenne joku be nyobere utaso enere ane. So apale keneta kosi nu uganet era ngesi apugane joku. Nya tusimusuguru ngesi be good governance. Adopeta kesi ngesi anyi bonube ara chuti barajo be ara mami somata iti dongone joko kwenye ijaya jennete akepolobe otoma umusugunu enyatos kesibe documentation. So dumuni jobe chama kita ijo yeni jai adio to beta kere kwa pato bunge so dawana anyetun be chama kita ijo kere wanyi ne jatonisi iperori jo ajukare iborengi ni enda ojanyu abate ti dongono belele ajukare toma oboro ngunu nyatos musugunu be Facebook account, Twitter, Ushahidi, ijo kaji ko mboronge na ekolo jo ojeno chiribe no mate jo ibore yeni abate mamilosi anguna kero tai no ay saba nare ijo kaja kero na ay saba ijaibo kwida ara ijaibo soda anyun bone be akero na jokoti jo ara na abate ijaibo sabo ngun kaw ne ijaijo be konyi aibino mate jo nare areta kanta kere ni te so bala mame joka ijaijo abongoni kini nare jo ngisino mate akero na sudumu jobe itosama iso ICT nare araide dawikare tomono araide dawikare kanyi dawis elap mamisi putariane mame ponus jo ay putare so ane ikoroso atamar bonbe mamu jawnu kada kurian na jo ajo kari kon bore ka saboni arai boni jenje ponno tosama ri boro mun ko pate Facebook Twitter ijukaji kon boro ngina nare apele kente kose ikota anyi bonbe itunga ngunu ina kina swamu aina kini tunga arabati irotini aiduka de kesia isoma ete kesi iborono ebeeti otupite ikapunu ena kita kesi mami koto alaka kin tunga nu aswamboro do tunga nyuna nyun ilo so boni anyi bonube ara iyon kada jonare apele kente kose erai anyi ne poneno ilimoro na ya nera pitera chini ne bobonte tunga na nichie do jata pukore olotojo puko kada akone kamera ara koni simu ogenja jukakin tomoboro una atada ngalimu tetere kwa nsipe anyi na right na bait erapeta chinane apodo sa anyun nen ngesi wana sobe right na atuni sibe ejatuni so ogonyo ejatuni sa popongi na edukitere rot na ronon itupakin kwa lo so anen yalama
okay yalama noy omulunya mpulirizo oli kuchenda mwenda katonze munana Stephen Radio tambula nawe tuline abagenyo kuva mu Women of Uganda Network ICT project era nga baze n'omulamu promoting and strengthening citizens participation to demand accountability and transparency in public service delivery through the use of information communication technologies. Kuberanga, how do you train our people? And maybe before you go into that, Agnes, please excuse me.
It's okay.
Before you go into that, I'm going to request that you get this one out of the way, because we did not get to talk about it, like to make it a little bit more crystal clear. Your target audience. Yes, you said that we should have 70% women, 30% men. But do you have that age limit? What are you exactly looking for before you go into that other question?
We don't have an age limit in this thing. For example, what we call targets are people who are supposed to just participate, to engage. You know, when people talk of targets, people think maybe if it is an like plan, we'll give maybe books, you know, those material things.
Yes.
No. Ours is just to improve the services that everybody feels.
Do I have to be educated?
No, really, not really. Because now, for what? As long as in the group there are people who can read and write, that's important. But others can do without.
Yeah.
But anyway, WOGNET is very, very careful in the way they choose their, what we could call a WOGNET committee. For example, in the first meeting, they chose leaders like COW, RDC, LC5, District Community Development Officer, Sub-County Chief, LC3, okay, LCs from 1 to 3. Then Parish Development Committees, Parish Chief, Women Group Leaders, Health Management Committee, and then the Education, and then the water user committees. So that the first group that we captured, that are the people we formed partnership with. Then in the next step, after that, now created awareness, of course. After that, we form now our 15, the Voluntary Social Accountability Committees, the VSACs.
Yep.
But the VSACs, again, is made up of some of the other people, plus others in the community, where now we don't choose whether you are a business person or you went to school or not. But the most important, you have the eyes to see that there's something wrong here.
Exactly.
That's the most important. So the writing bit, that's why even our messages is so brief. You just write maybe Gogonyo Parish, incomplete latrine, maybe this zone, and you've sent me, and the other thing, I need your name and your number. You know, things of fighting corruption is not easy, but you don't have to worry, because that is for my purpose and you. In case there is any clarification, I get back to you. In case you are the one who's trying to fight something is wrong, then you have to be held accountable at that point. So for the sake of checking our information, but from there, when we move on, your name just disappears.
So basically, you are assuring the public that your number is not to victimize you.
Confidential.
It is very confidential.
Confidential. Very. Even your name is confidential. Because when I'm writing my article, I'll say reported by VSACs of Gogonyo Parish. So whom will you?
If I'm sending information, I'm a gentleman from Palisa.
Yes.
I send information and
I receive it in my phone.
You receive it, I send my name, all this other information, and my number.
Yeah.
You mess up, sort of, and my name gets into somewhere. Am I in position to sue you?
Why not?
Super.
Because we are very, very. That's why we keep on asking each other every other moment. Are you sure this is true? You also ask me. And if I had time, like when people I get directly in touch with, I even want my article first you read. Because I keep on asking you exactly, is it the right picture? Is it the reformation? Should we take it up? And it goes into steps and steps and steps. Remember, we also have leaders in those VSACs. So they even have to verify the information. And we have their monthly or weekly meetings to verify what they've sent. So we have to have what we call a monitoring tool for purposes of M&E. You have to write what your issue is, how you're going to follow up. And in that meeting, if you're 15, you must share. Is that the right strategy? Is it the right thing to do? Is it the right information? So by the time it comes to me, it's okay, you send me this week, but next week they'll have to verify. So before I have agreed with you that is the right thing, I don't take it up.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you got this one out of the way. I mean, I don't have to be educated to be part of this. And corruption knows no level of education, so it affects all of us, even the unborn. So definitely we all have to fight it. Kids, mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters, grandmothers, we all have to come on board. You don't have to be educated to be part of this. Maybe to go back to my question, how do you train our people on the usage of ICT?
Yeah, the approach we use, first of all, we picked on key people from each parish, where our catchment area. But then again, as we move on, as we implement the project, the process requires you to every other month you go down with your laptop, you go down with the camera they have anyway, and they also have their phones. So you keep on training, retraining, reviewing where they've understood. You ask them to photograph, ask them to type, ask them to upload, because we even have the modem we move around with. So it's like it's a continuous.
Oh, they have a modem.
We have it in the organization.
So do they have to wait for you to upload, because I guess they need internet?
As soon as you know it, because the reason is, as soon as you're able to use it, go to the next computer where you have, because for us we have the computers in Tororo Information Center, which is very far for people.
Thank you very much. That is where I come in. The tools. Which tools do you give them to help them better communicate with you?
We give them phones and cameras. But also, why we control a lot of first of all, resources are limited us, because probably every place should have a computer. The other problem is also the power. People are in the villages. For us, we are typically mostly in the villages. So even if you give them, even the camera charging is another issue. But at least those are a little bit I would call appropriate. But now with the computers, you're free to go to the next town and upload if you wish. Remember, we shall have a verification team doing that work at a point.
Okay.
Yeah, you're allowed. But the only problem is that though we teach them journalism, a bit of journalism, nobody cannot. No, since even some are not even educated, nobody can properly write an article. So even by the time you begin taking an article to Ushahidi, it will be funny, even how to maybe put the picture here and then downsize and all those stuff. And even the what we call the relevant information. If you're writing about a school, you picture the number of children, number of teachers, all those factors. Are they eating lunch? Do you have enough hygiene and so forth? Then what's the performance? But a person will just look at an incomplete, maybe a few latrine, and that's it.
Thank you very much. Journalistic democracy, that is what it's called. And definitely we are contributing as local people. Nawe omuntu wa wansi ogenda kusobola okubeera munnamawulire. Nenga naffe bwe tubeera hano ku Step FM, we have news editors, nti oli agenda kutunulira story yo verifying information, dala information ntuufu. Kyekyo kyokka aba women of Uganda network kye basobola okubeera nga bakola. Naye nga amawulire gagenda kubeera nga gava wa mumwe mwennyini. Naye wantutunulidde mawulire ki? We are very specific on the news pieces. I think I'm free to call it news. We are looking at service delivery. That is what we are looking at. The bridge is falling and it was just built a month ago. That is what we are looking at. The school, we spent billions of money building this school, but it is also falling apart. Take a picture, write a few captions, send to Ugonet. I think that is what we are doing. So definitely in the studios I have Agnes, she's the project manager, Women of Uganda Network, Eastern Region. Then we have Charles Oduch, he's also the project coordinator from Ugonet. Charles Oduch, please.
So ne era ejine polo iyo ni tunga kere no Uganda nara ejino beyoni kere lemi isolosine age ona neji koko ade jukaji koko atagwete sabuni achubi ejajale mnesolo jiko kinale mnesolo iboro kapati yangu. So iborunu ebeti no apoloko yoko ara ba epuga kayo kaswam ngesi aito likini anyu bonbe ina kente kesone da iborunu ipoda wane ato soma. So mamu boni uta atamar bonbe dopudo kwa na ara mamu ngaje na isho mamu ngaje na musugunu nda mamu ngaje ni nyobo okay polo mamu chabolo ngebeta limo borene jeyi yena anyo bale rono mam ikote tunga kere ay morkikina kanini anyu bonbe ipero ne lakini kadanu apolo ko epuga kayo ko anyu bonbe itolu ngete kesa swamna ena kita ikezi ole muya ko ni kamera temas ijaso kada a cameras jaso kadi simui no maja kun puto olotojo bike neja yedio computer kere neja yugo nyata be internet cafe pero ya yukare to malaji na te balaso o Facebook what email bo kwa pati yangu ijukare so ngina ijabo boso dakada itunga melo seda awanyu nchirbe konye iborene jukotai era ni abeite arabo mami kuri anari ay jukoni iborengi na mamu joje na ay wadika no inoi do ya tamarbe ekoro balare wadika ta makirono puwele leba papola kere mama rai fanyini inoma ya puto na edu araina esemero ane edu kitai echepone nyekine tange takini ara ebate erotono edu kitai mama dao na erono no maja ki puto boni gen ya ta jukare dodo bon neja ya kurian ajeno dati cheto ngata marbe do kwana arabe koto siriginda ara mami jenuti sirigino edukter semero arabo mami juku ni arabo mam ijuku jo narebo buja soda kada kurian bon ba chepake iperojo ai wadiki sirigin nu mami to somata adukio semero ngon odumuno jobe itolo mun so aboronwa alailo adumbe galak ndi sirigini nu ilimo kata yo sirigini juku tijo kadi sigini to somata aduke semero ngon odumu jobe kepole wutane anga ngala kwap konye emorikino sona kanyo ko adama mujo jena wadikano wadikage jikoni kokoroni disibon be eroto ne edukitai dumu jobe illusione poneno pono ijuku jiborongun wongare na ngana e wolora kon kirot sodi inepi idumuna so aputokon adawo to sa anyun bon be erano abeite be ara semero ngon edukitai konye mama edukitai joko e angata isirigini nepo ilosi so anyin bonu be ingada kini se koni kirore e jokono tetere mamene pera jennu be ngaibo e jokareti iboro no ngena bonu be mamulosi asurok ne tunganan e be nara biye jeno ni kerebe kwa pati bera iduku esemero e jaibo ne nyata ebe e BOQ mamu jilo satamare be obiline ya rotata na kwa kine konye olotojo no mabona puto ne semero angoni na edukito olapaje achishinara tata olapano etogone larata simiti kwapuneni togoneni achila kwapuneni ino majo olimo kubunbe etogono adawe dopela pabone dukitai konye achilanyo efuloke ngon so ibo siko to mamelosi asuroko ne twanani be akora nga jemi sirigini etogwano sirigini eroto ano konye aputo boni ko to so mami kuri anada tamarbe nara mjisho mtajoko konye koto na murkina kanini atumonaka amakyo angoro ipolo kitunga kere ikoto so aloma toma ugrupu no ejie ananyi bonbi dumunone iboruno ebeti epuga kayoko haito likini nejayone so mami kuriaka.
Okay, thank you very much Charles. And ladies and gentlemen, we have 12 minutes to the top of the hour, and after this talk show we are definitely broadcasting the game live, the game between Arsenal and Hull City, so you just hold on for that, don't touch your dial. But going back to the talk show, we are looking at how we can empower the communities, especially communities of women and 30% men, on how to fight corruption. But this time round we are giving it a different face. We are making the women become the leaders in this, because men, we've not necessarily failed, but we are not definitely doing a good job, and given that we are part of the entire scam, so I'm happy that women are taking the front line. Now, Agnes.
Yes, please.
After you collecting this information, what does Uganda, women of Uganda network do? Do you prosecute? Do you take cases to court? Or do you just sit around with this information and write articles online?
Yeah, earlier on we said one of the objectives was to voice the voice of the voiceless. I think you're getting it that way. So in other words, we are trying to dig the information that is hidden, and we are bringing it out for sharing. After that, we call for action to cause change, and that change is improved service delivery. In other words, let us now give you the real step of what the process. We get the information from the community, collected by the community, so they do data collection, they package it, they can put like in a phone, or they write it down. If they don't have a phone, they can just write down, usually they note down. Remember, they also have their book where they record everything that they give us. So after that, we receive the information, and when we get the information, we get back and say, yes, what do we do next? That's now our role comes in advocacy skills. We give them the advocacy skills. Meanwhile, also publishing it in these other sites we talked about. For example, in radio, there will be a time when we shall be just telling you these things in radio live, or put in our newsletters people read. That's one step. At the same time, as we are doing it, they're also following up. In other words, they're calling for action. Let's cite an example of a bush latrine in a primary school in those villages. We ask them to, for example, we've trained them to go and approach the headmaster and ask why this place is not is not clean. There is poor sanitation. So the headmaster may say that, okay, I'm now going to ask the teacher on duty to make sure that this place is clean. And that is case step change. We call it an achievement. So when we monitor and for the next one term, the place is quite clean, then that's a success story. So we keep on sharing, but every level of progress or I don't know how, progress or the opposite of it, we make sure that we are sharing with the public. That's what we do at every level, either with the community or whoever is concerned. Okay. So we move forward, and whatever we get, we give others until we reach a point of change.
Thank you. Let me just press this a little harder. What if we are talking about a school that was constructed?
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is that, okay, we put in lots of money, and evidently it showed the work that was done.
Yeah.
Doesn't your association or organization have the powers or the jurisdiction to go ahead and, push the issue up, maybe to the courts of law? Or do you inform police to carry out investigations and things like that? Do you do that at all?
First of all, we don't allow anybody to assume that they know that there was a billions of shillings in this school. We don't allow that bit of it.
Okay.
We just ask you to look at a situation like a dump, but you see it as a problem. So you engage the people who are supposed to give you the information, and whoever refuses to give you the information is also held accountable for failing to give you them. So we move on. But the truth is, Wugune does not have any authority to sue anybody. Okay. What it does, it has empowered the community to do it. For example, if the community goes to the headmaster and the headmaster gives them what they are not satisfied with, they'll go to the school management committee, and then they go to the council. The council does manyangas again. They go to the councillor district. They go to the real LC chairman, cow, Paka Parliament, Paka Museveni. I don't
Empowering.
know.
That's really
but
good.
But at every level, we are there to make sure that, please don't give up. We are backing you, and we ensure that we shall engage the person who's right
at every level
to support you do the right thing and move on.
That's good work right there. But it looks like we are running out of time. 0713 998 998 or 0702 325998 is the lines you can actually call on and make your contribution, and maybe tell us what you think about this program, and share. I think it's a real good program, and I've been educated. But before we go into calls, let me give Oduch the opportunity to give us the other version.
Yeah, yalama noi. So eji ekos ne jai dumun jobe. Duchi ne jari swara bat ariamunu ikoto orasi angoro akisaka nyare orasi kiloko akaisauni. Dobo ne jai aingisat na jai dobo do kwana uganete epirore uganete angari tunga kapa ngunu anyamatis ikapunu ngunu na soma ata somna mabete pero tangaro koti abo shani kesi tegela yoweni ara bobia yi konye mamu uganati yangari ijo koti ara bato weni ijo ikwakina konye idumu so kwana chuti arire nguna adumu be era bete mutani ngisi soma ata somna ngisobo anga contract no ibuni so aigba kina kirongune ner radio kwa peja lolo ay moro kadi tunga kiere igwa kin bobo sa kirongo to mapopulaida newspapers. We can put them on the newspapers. Tetere kwa ni tunga kewa inetebe really Oduchu was the one who did this. Mamu so ilo si ay bwa kiro tona tetere kwa na itoti jo kere istakitete jo awokoto pora ebe ngontangi se kokwe akinei. So mami kuri anari barai ara ibu biya do ara ibu biya ibor kwa patianu kwenye bon akoronga ilepe bonbe ekorojo ay nomoni aputo na paitejo bala eraina bait tesere kwa na imorio na kirono ane mame bitu ete ne pera angara kiroto awo shanara eriboren yenaronon idumo yobe ko pati ikorene oni mutieri ni angena uchalo angena ya sakwin kwenye idumo eraito adumo na kebogo ara inyo aramangi pengin tesere suriti ene je ininda kere ejin be je to wana ni nene. Okay. Ngesi apele kente kose.
Okay, for you, Matek.
Alamanoi.
Okay. Step alo.
Hello.
Hello, amanya nejo kuvidese.
Thank you for the program.
Yes.
This is Mambo calling from Kayinga.
What's your name?
Mamuli.
Mamuli?
Yeah, Mamuli Perez.
Yes. Where are you calling from, Mamuli?
Kayunga.
Kayunga. Sorry about that. You can definitely call in again. He thanked us for the program and what is going on. He's basically appreciating. Neke kasera okubera ngokuba amasimu atufune ndoze simu nga biri oba emutu labe kigenda maaso abatuuliza kubanga era obudde bwo bulabikanga bugenze tulabe kiki mugamba. Okay. Step hello. Hello. Yellow. Okay. The phone's not, they don't seem to be like going through. I think let's just do a wrap up and we move on because we are out. Yes sir.
Ya akorongo atakini idiobere toma be jaibore mamoni januneti e korona jen bonube jasyo kada pedore papa to no worita o Uganda anyi bonube ibore ni nakinojo era ni abeti mamu ibala bonube araito epotu kubo kwine na kata so amuna buna so ambore ngi do ya palara ne panin na ra sirigi ni lemi one solo sine ngun era simune ai me down na paipon araibo ya kita ibore ni kotojo tomaneni papa te wanyibere jo adekisia mamiti kiai edukia adekisia che mama engata na ketai kwa banate adekisi so ngino gonyonge na ma ejaito gudukitai neno temne mama ngeta kena konye era kwa naone ayoka swam ijo anyi bonibe nyobere ina kinburu mu ikwa ikinete neni so jino be elo sasa we down.
Okay, thank you very much Bwana Charles Oduch is the project's coordinator Ugonet. Let me just jump over to Agnes. Please give us your parting shot.
I just want to inform the listeners that please don't hesitate to come and get contacts of these places. Okay. For example, our email is info@wugonet.net. That's net. And also the website is www.wugonet.org. So at least try to click and look at what we do, so
Good.
that you get the advantage of what we present.
And you're also on Facebook and
We're
Twitter.
Also on Twitter, Facebook.com/Wugnet. We also have Twitter. We have the Ushahidi.
What's the Twitter handle?
It is Wugonet.
Okay.
Just that.
Okay.
And also www.facebook.com.
Okay.
/Wugonet.
And then YouTube.
YouTube. I don't see it here at all.
Okay.
But it's something on.
You can just go and search.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So we just have to inform the public that we don't have to fear.
Okay.
We have to just carry on, and our next session would be maybe in some weeks' time. But the next plan is to engage the duty bearers to address the issues we so far identified, and we manage to cause change and fight corruption.
And on that note, thank you very much for being a good listener. This is the 99.8 Step FM, always a step ahead. Tubadde n'abagenyi okuva mu Women of Uganda Network ICT project. Nga tubadde tutunuulira at we were looking at promoting and strengthening citizens' participation to demand accountability and transparency in public service delivery through the use of information communication technologies. Tubadde tutunuulira kubya kulwanyisa corruption. Bagambye nti naba Ugonet batuwa cameras ne batuwa amasimu okubeera nga tukuba ebifaananyi tuweereza information eno ne bawandiika ne bateeka ku mikutu egya internet nitubeera nga tusharinga information ate ffe kennyini abantu ba wansi ffe tulina okubeera nga tupushinga ne wabeerawo change. So the fight is ours, the exposure is for Ugonet. Have a good night, and the match is coming up between Arsenal and Arsenal. I was going to say Liverpool. Arsenal and Hull City. Again, I'm saying have a good night. My name is Alan, and we hope to hear from you next time.
Thank you.
This is 99.8 Step FM.
Samba! Samba! Señorita Conchita López Rodrigo.